information is filled out if the member needs to go to the hospital. Most times a shop steward will accompany that person to the hospital to make sure that they're okay. And at that point, they'll make the proper phone calls to the union, business agents, so on and so forth, to state that there was an accident.
Are you surprised that you have not yet filled out an accident report regarding an incident allegedly dated afterwards?
I'm going to object to the form of the question.
What's problematic about it?
I believe that I believe counsel is leading the witness, and I'm objecting to the use of the word surprise. It would be more appropriate. This is not cross-examination. This is direct. She could have asked her what was his reaction to learning that she hadn't filled it out, but using the word surprise is giving a suggestion as to what the answer would be.
Okay, let's rephrase that as what was his reaction.
Did you have any reaction to the fact that the claimant advised you that she had not yet filled out an accident report regarding an incident that she alleged occurred some days prior?
My reaction was that you need to fill it out right now.
And did you do that?
Yes, she then performed and actually went and got the paperwork for her to fill out.
Now, shop steward, what are they also workers? I mean, strike that. A shop steward, what is their role at a given job?
I'm going to object. We're not talking about any given job, and this young man is here.
I'll allow the question. Go ahead.
A shop steward in general, what is their role? And if you can tailor it to this specific job, if you know.
It's the same no matter what job they're on. Shop steward responsibility is to work the same as everybody else on the crew. They are allotted a certain amount of time each day to perform their shop steward duties, which is, do you want me to actually go through a list? There are shop steward reports that need to be filled out, which lists every member that's working on the job site and how many hours they've worked. That's one of the primary duties.
Just my question is, are they required to perform the normal jobs as a carpenter in addition to their shop steward duties?
Absolutely.
There would be no special allowance made regarding work.
Depending on the size of the job, it will take longer. How many members are there working? It would take longer for them to do their shop steward duties. So, can I give an example, or is that too much?
No, my question is, would they still be required to do the same physical work as any other member?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
As any other carpenter,
yes.
Not as any other, as a laborer.
No, carpenter. Strictly carpenters, that's all I talk about. Don't care about the other trades.
Now, the claimant has testified that on July 27, 2011, she called a hotline reporting a problem with regard to insulation, I believe, that was being used on this particular job. Is there such a hotline that exists?
Yes.
Okay, what is that?
That would be the office that I'm in now, or the Federal Review Officer's office line. There are two numbers where you can make a formal complaint and leave a message. It would be one of those two numbers.
Now, if she had left a message making a formal complaint, what would have occurred in response to that complaint?
A job site visit would have been done by my office, the Inspector General's office.
Your current office?
My current office, yes, I'm sorry.
And you would be aware of that type of a complaint?
Not necessarily. If the case folder wasn't given to me, I may not be aware of, of an investigation.
Okay. At any point prior to today, were you ever made aware of any complaint made by the claimant with regard to this specific job site of insulation?
I'm going to object. The witness answered the question that was asked. And so are we now, is the question that's being asked that since that time in his new role as inspector, is he being asked to revisit something that was made then? I'm not. I'm concerned about the question, I'm concerned about the form of the question, and I'm concerned about...
Okay, I'm going to cut it off right there. I'm not concerned with the question. You can ask that question. It makes sense to me. Go ahead.
At any time...
No, my exception.
Prior to today, were you ever made aware of a complaint that the claimant lodged pursuant to that hotline regarding improper installation on that site?
Never.
But you would not necessarily be privy to that information, correct?
No, not necessarily, but no.
Is it likely you would be aware of it?
No, not in my office now. No, it depends on who the investigation is.
Okay. Would it be certain that some action would have been taken regarding that complaint if
Yes.
it were made?
Yes,
Would there be a record of it?
there would be. There would be a case holder.
And if I were to bother you again and send another subpoena, would you be able to provide us with the information if it exists?
I don't know that subpoena, I don't know if I'd be able to release those records. I think you would have to talk to the Inspector General or Department for that. That's not protected to me.
Earlier, you gentlemen had talked about being willing to go off the case for right now and come back on if there's a question of apportionment.
Well, that's going to be my application. I don't know
Okay.
if that's what I'm saying.
I just realized I didn't raise it, that had mentioned whether or not they would need to stay. Do you have any question, do you have any reason for them to be here?
No, but if you mind if I just leave an answer?
That would be fine. And Mr. Einziger, what about you? Do you have any interest in staying?
Judge, if you're finding we have no standing to be here right now, that's fine. I mean, I was going to join in controverting this claim because if she's out, I'm never going to face apportionment. So that's why I'm still coming to these. So
Oh, so, yeah, he's interested.
So you'd rather stay?
I'm aligned in interest with her to the point that, you know, we think this claim should be disallowed as well. My secondary argument would be there's no evidence of apportionment. So
That's basically my...
And our position is they can stay or leave, we don't care, but clearly if she had a pre-existing condition and she had back injuries before and she needs medical treatment, maybe it is an exacerbation and that's a question for the doctor. So
Okay, if
it's
there's
not
an
just
issue
a
of
blanket.
apportionment that comes up.
Absolutely.
How about you, Mr. Einziger?
Well, we would take the same position. We are also raising 25A.
Yeah, and we're also raising point. Yeah,
Okay, so perhaps what I'll do is I'll go back on the record and I'm sorry I didn't take care of this before now, but I'll just state that discharge a roof notice, unless you want to stay?
I want to stay.
You want to stay, okay.
I don't want to. I'd like to.
Mr. Einziger?
We'll request discharge.
Okay, well, let's go back on the record. I'm so sorry that I put this off, but I have some extra people here who are representing insurance carriers on earlier cases. Mr. Friedman?
Yes, I'm here on behalf of PMA on the 1997 case. The case was established to the left leg and closed in 01 on the schedule. On behalf of PMA, we're asking to be discharged and removed from notice. There's no evidence of any apportionment against that file, and we're also raising 25A.
Okay, that is granted on all what you're raising.
Thank you.
I believe, Your Honor, that there was an RFA from the claimant separately for, she was looking for medical treatment due to the left leg. So whether they're involved with the back or not, this case, there are several RFAs on all the cases to reopen and restore based on the fact that when the claimant was out of work, she went to see, we had an extensive discussion. So,
Are you not claiming legs on this file?
the claimant had a prior scheduled OCU, so clearly she injured that leg, and clearly if she was having symptomatology, whether or not there's apportionment is not for me to say, it's for a doctor.
It's alleged on this case.
That's what I'm saying.
It's alleged on this case.
So I'm
And
asking
you do have a left leg case, so.
I'm just saying my case is from 1997. It was closed in 01. I don't see how...
I'll remove and discharge
All right.
PMA,
All right.
Reliance Insurance Company, and we'll bring you back on if there's a question.
Okay, unfortunate. Thank you.
Okay.
And his case was separately reopened with an RFA on different issues. So that, with that case, if that case is on calendar, it's not only traveling with the lead case, it's got separate issues, and we'll just do another RFA and talk to you at another time.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Einziger.
Yes, Judge. We have a prior neck and back case. We paid the claimant for about 3 months in 2002. There's no medical since 2003. We will request to be discharged for now. We're raising 25A. If the lead case today is established, then we can be brought back on the issue of apportionment if there is medical evidence for that.
I would like to be placed on notice on that file, just so I have access to the medicals, but I have no objection to Mr.
Okay, I'll discharge and remove from notice National Union Fire Insurance if a portion of it does become an issue, we'll see that in notice. That case, Ms. Schulman, is 00236-524. It is open today, and so
That case is
00236-524, and so I'm going to direct that American Reserve be placed on notice.
Thank you.
And we're also raising 25 rate. Okay, you said that already.
We did.
Okay. Never hurts to say it too often.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry to keep everybody here for so long. I knew, I've kind of gotten a heads up that we wanted to raise the issues. Okay, thank you very much. You're a brave man, Mr. Cologne, to say anyway. Okay.
I
let's
don't want
continue.
to be alleged that I wasn't here for the litigation.
Okay, let's continue. Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt. So do you need a restatement of the last one?
No, I'm good. I don't think I have anything further, please. Thank you.
Okay, I have a few questions as well. The work that was done, I think there was a sheetrock that was going up, correct?
Yes.
Was this work that typically would be done by one person? Or was, it would be done by one person hanging it? And the pace at which it was done, was that an adequate pace for one person?
I could not answer that. I'm not on the job site, because you know, how somebody's working. I'm only called in.
Do you recall anything about the quality of the work?
When I went there, she was working. The work appeared adequate. I couldn't say that it was terrible or it was perfection. You know, it was adequate.
So your call on having Ms. Hodges leave was more related to the friction between her
Yeah.
and the foreman?
I think that's, in the end, that's what the end result was. There was a lot of friction between the two of them.
Go ahead.
When you received the letter from the contractor, do you remember how it was received?
By fax.
Had somebody, to your recollection, called the district council, am I saying it right? New York City District Council?
Sure.
Had somebody called and you have a secretary and then they say, okay, we have this call because you're that council rep, you need to go to the site? How does that work?
What happens is the company